welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be putting our makeup to the test, the ultimate challenge if you will. This is a drugstore versus high-end get ready with me. I'm going to take you guys through my everyday makeup routine and I'm going to tell you what I get drugstore, what I get high-end, and what I think's worth it. And this is the makeup look that we'll be doing today. So before we get any further, go ahead and leave your guess below. What do you think's going to win, high-end or drugstore? Okay, now that you've left your guess, let's get into it and I'll go ahead and warn you there's a little bit of a jump scare. Boo. So I've already done all of my morning skincare. I could do skincare and hair care in an entirely separate video, so we're not even gonna get into that. What we're gonna do is go ahead and get into my base. And if you're thinking to yourself, this is just everyday makeup, how much makeup are you gonna have to go through? I got a lot of not that I think I wear a lot of makeup, that's up to discretion, but I like to mix a lot of products, so I like to use multiple blushes and combine them for the color that I'm looking for. I like to use multiple mascaras. I just like to pick and choose things. I like to have options. I'm just gonna go ahead and clip my hair back so that we don't get any of this in my hair, even though we inevitably probably will. First thing I put on my skin is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I'm currently using the shade Medium. I love this. I don't know why I wasn't put on this sooner, but I only started using it a few months ago. I just think it's like this beautiful bronzy glow. If you like doing makeup, I feel like you're just gonna love this. Even if you don't, this is the perfect shimmer and shine, especially for summertime, to go under your base. And if I'm having a day where I don't wanna wear makeup, I'll sometimes just throw this on so to have a little bit of color, a little bit of glow. I love the way that it looks. And I don't feel like it's super thick, which is really important because with my skincare products and the other makeup products I'm gonna put on, I get really worried about like the potential of pilling, and I don't get any of that with this. And I think this is a dupe for the Drunk Elephant bronzing drops. I'll never buy those because I have this, so we're giving a point to drugstore for this one. Next up for me is gonna be brows. I always put the Lumi Glotion on first, then I do my brows, and then I go back to base. I love e.l.f. products for my brows. I've been using the soap brow for so long, and then one day I just decided I'm gonna try the clear brow lift. This is absolutely amazing. I have very thick, unruly brows. I barely have to touch my brows with this stuff, and they're like instantly frozen. So again, we're giving a point to drugstore in this one. I also use the e.l.f. brush for this, but I don't feel like I'm gonna include brushes because majority of my brushes are drugstore, and I feel like that would just be throwing extra points. It's as simple as that for styling my brow. I cannot get over how good this stuff is. Brows are styled with the e.l.f. Brow Lift. I do put a little bit of pomade in, but I don't do that until later in the brow routine. So right now we are still sitting at 2 for drugstore, and we're moving on to the rest of our base. Drugstore is getting a really good head start because they're getting another point. The e.l.f. Halo Glow is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I've never needed to buy that one. Same with the bronzing drops. I've never needed to buy it because this is that good. Lately, the e.l.f. Halo Glow is the only thing that I've been using as like a foundation before I put on contour or anything else. But the past couple of days, I've been adding in foundation as well, so we're gonna do that today. The foundation I've been using is another drugstore win. This is the L'Oreal True Match. They just came out with like the new formulation. I think the formula itself is actually the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it now has a pump, which is one of the things that like majority of people ask for. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this to mix with the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I'm using the shade C2.5 Cool Light Medium. And we're just gonna go ahead and blend this out with a damp beauty blender. This one is actually a Real Techniques beauty blender, so you guys know we're not counting tools, but if we were, I don't even need to say it. I love this base. I think this combo is literally everything. Perfect, glowy, dewy. I like this all year long, but even if you're just like a glowy girl in the summer, it is the time to start doing this routine. Next up is contour. For cream contour, I use the Rare Beauty Warm Wishes Bronzing Stick in the shade Happy Soul, and we are officially giving our first point to high end. I have used drugstore cream contours. I have used high-end ones. I love this one so much. I feel like this just melts on like butter. It goes a lot further than all of my drugstore ones, which just goes to show sometimes you're paying for the longevity of a product. And I think that this is like the second darkest shade in their range. I do prefer a little bit of a darker contour shade just because I'm layering it, like I said, with so many other products, and it's a cool tone. The shade right before this probably would have been better suited for me on a day-to-day wear, but it was really warm, and I just prefer this one. I'm just blending this out with the e.l.f. blending brush, and we're just not even gonna talk about it. It would get a point if we were counting tools. This normally would be the point in your makeup routine where you'd go in with your concealers, and I do after this next step, but for some reason I choose this point in my routine to do my lip plumper. I like using a lip plumper. I don't have any lip fillers, and I feel like my top lip is pretty flat. Just something I like doing. You obviously don't have to do it. For the longest time, I was using the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. I really like this. I want to give a point to High End for this. But lately I've been using this LA Girl Tinted Lip Plumper. $5. Obviously a drugstore win. And let me tell you, this wins. So we're giving another point to drugstore for this one. This tints and plumps. It's so super tingly. I feel like it's more tingly than any other plumper that I've used. And I just love it. I feel like it plumps my lips great. I feel like it gives them a really pretty color. They're a little tacky, sticky at first, but they'll dry up in like a minute or so. So we're gonna go ahead and give a point to drugstore for this one and keep it rolling. I've let it sit for a few minutes so you can see what it looks like. That color is stunning. Obviously my lips aren't anything crazy. I think they look great. I love the color. I love that lip plumper. Now we're moving on to concealer, and this is where we start to mix things up. I used 2 different concealers, and surprise, surprise, they're both drugstore. So we're getting 2 points on the drugstore end. This is the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. I use the pink rose. That's super important. I think the pink tint to it actually really brightens your under eye more than a typical concealer. Then I use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This looks so beat up. It has been used and loved for so long, but still going strong. The shade for this one is Fair Beige. I'll show you where I use the 2 because I only use the Milani under my eyes, and then I use the e.l.f. in just a couple places. And a lot of people think that the e.l.f. Camo Concealer is a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, and I would definitely agree. So just a little bit of it goes a long way. The way that I apply this is actually something I saw on TikTok. A girl was talking about micro highlighting. Maybe there was another term for it, I don't know. But she was talking about the way that we highlight our face and basically needing to go up in parallel lines from like our nose to our eye, our mouth to our cheekbone, and saying that that helps our face overall just look super lifted. I've been doing this ever since, and I love the way that it looks. And then, like I said, I just go in with that Milani under my eye, just in these 2 places, because when I blend it out, it kind of all blends together and really brightens up your under eye. I'm using a new sponge for the concealer, but I'm still using the same type of sponge that I use for my base. Look at the under eye. I mean, I'm just stunned every time I put it on. I'm so obsessed with it. So that's the concealer blended out, except for the bridge of my nose. I like to do that with my finger, just so that I don't lose all of that contour and like the sculpting, because that's really the only place of my face that I feel like I really like snatch in with the contour. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Now we're moving on to blush. I use 2 liquid blushes. One is High End, one is drugstore. This is the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick. This is the shade Dazzling Peony. I absolutely love this. It's a really pretty pinky color. It has a nice shimmer to it. I will always use this all year round. This is the shade Joy in the Rare Beauty liquid blush. It's so super pigmented. If you've ever used Rare Beauty blush, you know you only need a little dab of this. So when I'm mixing that, I especially have to be really careful. And lately I've just been wanting to try a different shade because this is very warm, very coral, peachy, really good for summertime when you're super sun-kissed, but I don't even have on self-tanner right now, so I feel like this is not the vibe. I did pick up another shade of that yesterday. I ended up getting the shade Hope. Again, something else that's always sold out at my Sephora, but I ended up finding it yesterday, so we're gonna try it out today with my e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick like I always do. And another thing that I learned on TikTok, someone said to put your blush the same way you put your contour, like up and snatched, and essentially fill in where you did your concealer up on your cheekbone, kind of where the sun would hit. I'm loving all these makeup artists giving away all their tips on TikTok because it has given my makeup a 180. I love the color of this. It's much more muted, much more subtle. I feel like it's gonna go really good with that e.l.f. Multi-Stick for just like an everyday wear. I feel like it's the same color. Okay. So I'm feeling like I don't need to mix these 2. I could definitely use one or the other, depending on the type of look I'm going for. I like to save the e.l.f. Multi-Stick for like the no makeup days if I had to pick a day for it, because it is a little bit less pigmented and a little bit sheerer than the Rare Beauty. Obviously it looks really pigmented here, but I've layered it a couple times. We're just gonna blend it out with another e.l.f. blending brush and see what it looks like. You guys, I don't know if you can even see the difference between the 2 blushes here, but I do not see a difference over here. I feel like I just blended out the e.l.f., which is crazy because I don't feel like they look the same. I don't know. I will say also the e.l.f. has shimmer to it, the Rare Beauty does not. Do with that what you will. I do think that blush color is stunning. For the longest time, I wouldn't wear blush because growing up, family always told me that I had super rosy cheeks. I never needed to wear blush. So when I got to the age of wearing makeup, I was like, blush is not for me. I can't wear blush. What was I thinking? I absolutely love my blush. I will not go anywhere without it now. Again, if I'm having a no makeup day, blush is one of the like 3 things that will be on my face. Next, we're gonna go in with powders. But before I do that, I do wanna just kind of buff out any creasing from my concealer. I wanna give it time to settle into my skin, but I want to buff out those creases because we don't wanna set the creases. Taking a little powder puff, I'm gonna set my under eye, and I'm gonna use my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is a loose setting powder, and this is high end. What I've been liking to do lately is dip my powder puff into the powder, press it on my wrist so that I get a lot of that loose powder shake off, and then set my under eye. And I feel like this just lets me really get in the creases under my eye instead of just cake on makeup that falls all over the place. And I will go back and get it off my wrist. I told y'all, this is high end. We're not wasting it. And I like to keep a lot of that dewy, shiny look to my makeup, so I try not to overset it. I do set my eyes, I do set the high crease areas, so by my mouth and on my forehead, but the rest I'll just probably get like a light dusting. Powder is done, face is set, but now we're gonna move on to bronzer. And for some reason, I really thought that by now high end would be in a higher place, have more points, I don't know. But anyways, I have another drugstore product. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I get this in the shade Sun-Kissed Bronzer. These can get pretty dark. So if you like a dark bronzer, check this brand out. This one in particular, I think is a really good dupe for the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. I have not bought that little thing in years, although I do think it's worth it and there's a lot of longevity to that product. There is to this one too. And I've hit pan on this. Round of applause. I feel like I used to be that person that would use the same product for literally years. Not like the same tube or the same product. I mean, for some things. But over the past few years, I've gotten really adventurous and wanting to try new things. So whenever I do hit pan on something, it's like so exciting. It's like, that is worth it. And now we're moving on to highlighter. This is something that I'm not married to. I change up my highlighters all the time. I go back and forth between drugstore, high end, but well, you know, we're working with another drugstore product. I just grabbed this one like 2 weeks ago, but I have been really liking it. I feel like it gives me this nice pinky glowy spring look, which I love. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Blossom Glow. I had to read this off of this. I was like, there's no way I'm getting through that tongue twister without reading it off the packaging. My only gripe to this product, like thing I cannot stand, is every time I use it, so much fallout. Everywhere, fallout everywhere. I do feel like this was super cheap, so like when you chalk things up, it's okay to lose a little, but I hate to waste things and I hate the mess that it makes. So take this with a grain of salt. I like to typically use this over a sink if I can, or like have a towel in my lap. And I've also decided to stop using it with a brush because the brush just flakes it everywhere. So I've been using this with my finger. Look at the pigment. Stunning. I also use this sparingly because it is really, really bright. That's all that I put on. And it's a drugstore product. We love that. I love highlighter. I'll put highlighter all over the place. I do like to put it on my nose, inner corners of my eyes, my cheekbones, even sometimes like on my Cupid's bow. The more the merrier. So now we're working our way back to the eyes. Depending on the mood I'm in, I'll use a couple different things for my brows. I have the Benefit Gimme Brow. I can't see what shade this is in because it's like literally beat to pieces from just being in my container with the rest of my makeup. And then I also have this NYX Taman Frame. This is in the shade Espresso. I normally like to go a little bit lighter with my brow shade because my brows are already so dark. I don't want them to look like caterpillars. So I typically go a little bit lighter. But with this, I just do hair strokes. So this is gonna be dark and it is gonna match my natural brow. And it's tough here because it's like, do I want to give a point for both? I guess I'll give a point for both because I do switch off between these, but today I'm going to use the NYX. I just take a little thin angled brush with my NYX pomade and I just kind of fill in so that my brows are a little bit closer on each side. You know, they're sisters, they're not twins. We're okay with that. I have been doing like super fluffy brows every day for the longest time, but now that I've switched back to not wearing eyelash extensions, just doing mascara on my natural lashes, I just felt like the more I was doing to my brows, the more they were overpowering my face. They didn't match my lashes anymore. I didn't feel like they matched my face. I just felt like they were too much. But I do love fluffy brows, and that's not to say I'll never have them again. So some days I do a light brown eyeshadow wing liner, and I use this Butter London palette that I've had for so long. We're gonna consider this high end. Okay, we're just gonna throw a point on the high end side because drugstore is kicking. I've been using the shade Temptress of this palette for my brown winged eyeshadow liner for so long. When I run out of this palette, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I'm sure I'll find another shade when that time comes, but I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about it for a while. We're just taking a fine brush again with this, and really I am just making a line up towards my brow and then just kind of smudging it out. Okay, super subtle little wing is done. Now we are on to mascara and then lips and setting spray, and I think that's it. So for mascara, first off, trigger warning, I have to curl my eyelashes until it looks like I'm gonna rip them out of my head. Once I'm literally stunned seeing stars, I can put on my mascara. I am doing a lash lift this week, so I'm gonna see if that holds with my lashes. I've been wearing at-home lash extensions for such a long time. I don't feel like my lashes are really damaged, but I just feel like they're lacking a lot of the pizzazz that they had. I have been using the Dime Beauty Lash Serum for just like a couple weeks, but I am gonna do the lash lift. I'm gonna keep on the serum, and we're just gonna hope for the best. So I do seriously use a trio of mascaras. Starting off with a telescopic waterproof mascara in black. This is another drugstore win, what do you know? And all of the TikTok girlies have said to use waterproof mascara to hold your lashes curl. And I will say it's nothing groundbreaking for me. It doesn't make them stand all the way to the tippy top, but I have noticed that if I curl my lashes and immediately go in with a thin coat of waterproof mascara, that's why I like the telescopic, because the brush just coats it on and separates your lashes. Very thin coat, it doesn't get cakey. Anyways, I've noticed that it makes a significant difference in holding the curl. I don't know if you can see these lashes over here, they're not curled. My lashes are long, but they are very straight. These will definitely fall a little bit, but we're working with something. And I go back and forth between eye to eye so I can make sure this one dries before I apply the next coat of mascara. So the next mascara that I go in with is the ColourPop Level Up Lengthening Mascara. Again, TikTok influenced me on this one. I think this is great for thickening up the lashes after I've gotten them to a nice curl and I need to just add a couple more coats, thicken them up. I mean, I just think that looks so good. I'm gonna do the other eye, and then we're gonna move on to the third and final mascara. Another drugstore. This is the telescopic, just the non-waterproof version. I use this for my bottom lash line. We're almost done, and I'm honestly shocked by the results because I am always at Sephora. So like, what am I buying? Likely more hair care and skincare. I just wiped off my lip plumper. Sometimes I leave it on if I'm going for a gloss, but lately I have been wearing the Summer Fridays lip balm in vanilla beige like every single day. I'm gonna give a point to High End for lips because even though I'm not wearing the Summer Fridays today, that is a high-end lip balm, and the one I'm gonna wear today is also a high-end lip balm. We're trying out the Soft Pinch Tinted Lip Oil by Rare Beauty. I was in Sephora yesterday. This just launched. Right when I got the shade Hope in the blush, I also got the shade Hope in the lip. And I've been really wanting to try this because I heard that this stains your lips a little bit. So far, I have heard nothing bad about it, so we're going high end on the lips today. Before I do this though, I am gonna line my lips a little bit, and what do you know? I like drugstore lip liners. These are just 3 I grabbed really quickly, but I have so many of the NYX lip liners. They are my holy grail. They're like $6. Best pigment, great color selection, you can't beat it. Because this is a lighter shade, I'm gonna go in with the shade Nude Pink, just do a little bit of lining. And this is my first time trying the lip oil, so here goes nothing. The shade is beautiful. I feel like I'm in my pink era. Like, I want the pink blush, I want the pink highlight, I want the pink everything. This is the shade Hope. I'm obsessed with this. I think this is stunning. It is a tinted lip oil. I think this is perfect for everyday wear, especially if you like a little bit of color. And I don't feel like I have anything like this right now, so I am so happy I snagged this. It was literally the last one in my Sephora. I was going there on a whim. I was shocked to even see it. So happy. And let's just check in on that scoreboard. How we feeling? Who else is shocked? I'm shocked. And last but not least, guys, I'm gonna set my face. And High End gets another point. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I wanted to try this when I ran out of my Milani, which is a drugstore. So it would have been a point for drugstore, but I've been using this for the past 2 weeks or so, and I really like it. All right, we're taking the clips down. I tried a new way of using my Shark Flex style today. I feel like I really like it, but I'm obsessed with this makeup look. This has been my everyday look for the past, I don't even know how long. I tweak things here and there. Like I said, I've been trying to try out a lot of new products, but I absolutely love this look. And as much as I love my high end and my Sephora products, and I will 1000% splurge on things that should be splurged on, obviously drugstore wins for me. I can't deny it. There's so many good dupes. There's so many good drugstore finds. If this video helped you find something new or something that you want to try, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. If there's anything else that you want to see, anything you have questions about, also let me know. I love connecting with you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.